Hello, and thank you so much for dropping by. Um, it's interesting. Today is Easter in the Eastern Orthodox Church, and yet I'm feeling really drawn to Buddhism. And so you'll see I have a picture of my favorite Buddha up there. I'm very passionate about the teachings of Bruno Gröning, very passionate about the teachings of Christ, and what I'm most passionate about is the truth. And what I'm most passionate about is the path to valid paths to the truth and to whether you call it liberation or salvation, redemption, enlightenment, and so uh, although today's Easter, I'm in my life. I'm kind of in a Buddhism state of mind. so So just a little background on my background. And so, what is the essence of what Jesus taught and what Bruno came to remind us of? Well, my understanding is that this idea of reliance on God and um, entrusting ourselves to a spiritual helper until we're able to have the direct connection to God. That's my that's my understanding of just the beginning and the end of what Jesus taught and what Bruno reminded us of. So simple, so simple. And certainly there are many details and nuances to that, but for me, the whole path can be summed up in just that is relying on God. And I sometimes hesitate to use the word God when talking about the teachings of Bruno Gröning and the teachings of Jesus Christ, because what they meant by God is so radically different from what most people mean by God. The only reason I'm willing to use that word is because I think they knew the truth about God and that they had the authority to use that word and to teach on that word. What did Bruno Gröning say God is? Goodness, order, harmony. He used the word Leben, the German word, which, as I've said many times, can mean many different things. Existence, life, the animating force of life. I just think of it as pristine goodness. Pristine goodness. So, enough talking. Let's tune in, tap in, um, connect with that reality. Because ultimately, God is just a word. The word God is just a word. It's pointing towards something. Bruce Lee, who actually he was a very spiritual man. Most people think of him as a martial artist, which he was, but very spiritual man. He described that if we get too focused on the teachings, if we get too focused on the teachings, he said it's like a finger pointing at the moon. You get focused on the finger and you miss all the heavenly splendors of the moon. So let's not get too hung up on the words. And let's keep in mind that the words, everything that Bruno taught was pointing us in a specific direction. And I do it all the time. I mean, I love Bruno Gröning and I love his teachings, but I don't want to get fixated on the teaching. The teachings are nothing more. And that's one of the reasons why I love Buddhism is they say that the teachings of Buddhism don't get hung, it's just a raft to carry you across the ocean, what they call the ocean of suffering. That all the Buddhist teachings are just a raft, and this raft carries you across the ocean, and then when you get to the destination, you can let go of the raft that you've arrived. So let's seek the goal. Hmm, let's seek the goal. And yes, may heavenly love be with all of us. And let's do our part in let's do our part. And I can I keep getting ready to say let's tune in, but tuning in is supposed to go on all the time. So I hope everyone's tuning in right now. So, you know, it's when we ask to receive the healing stream, I have to look. I need to look at the German on that phrase. I don't believe it's really, in essence, it's really accurate to ask to receive the healing stream. I'd say it's more accurate to say that we're opening to receive. I'm pretty convinced the healing stream is 24/7. That 24/7, the good God is broadcasting. The signals, that's my view, the signal's always going. And it's our job to open and receive it. So let's do that now. If you haven't already, let's have the intention to receive this goodness. Let's be humble and recognize our need for it and observe our bodies. It's very interesting. Magdalena wrote, Buddha shines on us all. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about a specific type of Buddhism and how it relates to Bruno Grüning. And some people get upset when I talk about things that aren't just Bruno Grüning, and I understand. And that's just who I am. Is I kind of study everything, and then I relate it back. So if you don't want to hear about a little Buddhism and how that helps me to understand Bruno Gröning, you can just turn the volume down for a couple minutes. So Magdalena said it so well. Um, in Buddhism, there's different types of Buddhism, but one type of Buddhism, Mahayana Buddhism, the most popular today, says that there's multiple Buddhas. And what is a Buddha? A Buddha is a perfected being, not a god, but a divine, a being that's really free of all suffering and able to help other people. And who's considered to be one of the greatest of these Buddhas is this person, Amitabha. Well, not person, but Buddha, Amitabha Buddha. His name means the Buddha of limitless light. And it's said that Amitabha is so great and such a powerful Buddha that he extends light from himself that reaches every centimeter of creation. That's how powerful of a awakened spiritual being that Amitabha is. So in the particular form of Buddhism that focuses on him, it's about opening to his light. Now, whether or not you believe that any of that's true, that's not so important to me, and I'm not here trying to convert anyone to that. But that to me really sums up just the essence of what Bruno taught. That light, of course, from the point of view of Bruno, that light is the light of God, who, interestingly enough, he called our Heavenly Father, just as it's written Christ did. That the light or the goodness or the power of that being, again, that Bruno called our Heavenly Father, is all around, all everywhere. God is omniscient. According to Bruno, God's omniscient, omnipresent. And so isn't it our job to just open to that, to say yes? It's almost as if, from the point of view of Bruno's teaching, God is constantly offering a gift. And it's our job to receive that gift. And of course, Bruno points out most people aren't able to receive that gift on their own. And hence Bruno says most people need a spiritual helper to receive that gift. So let's receive it. So let's take this, this image of Amitabha Buddha, a Buddha of limitless light who is such a powerful being, such a powerful Buddha, which means a fully awake spiritual being, is able to emanate that light to everywhere. And it's merely our job to take it in. Let's see if that can help us to understand a little bit what Bruno Gröning meant by God and our relationship to it. Sometimes he would call the divine power it. He would say it helps, it heals. And just our task to take in it, to receive it. And if we feel the need, to ask Bruno Gröning or another helper to help us receive it. Excuse me. So, friends, that's what I have for today. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. And let's open ourselves to the light that's all around us. Let's take it in. Take care. Much love.